What's happening, folks? It's Andrew from MAO Magic, and I'm here with the new second generation Chromecast. So if you're familiar with the first generation, basically you're going to be familiar with the second. It has a lot of different apps that you can see on the side, and there's even more that you can discover inside of the iOS or Android application itself. Now, unfortunately, there is not a ton of differences between the original Chromecast and the second generation Chromecast. There are a few minor hardware differences, but the major difference, I guess, would just be speed. It is a lot faster than the first generation, so if that's something you care about, it's definitely worth the upgrade. However, that's really only the main difference. If you are interested, I have gone and put the description or the link up in the description for you to pick one up yourself. So let's go ahead and set up the new version here. As far as instructions go that are included, they're just inside of the label, which is basically plug it in and then visit that website on your phone. So on the actual hardware itself, you have 2 or 3 different pieces here. You actually have the device, then you have the cable, and then you have the power adapter. The power adapter is nicely labeled with a big chrome icon, so you actually know what this is for. However, it's pretty much a standard USB, so it's not really that necessary that you pay attention to it. You do need that power adapter to keep this thing going, and then you have simply a micro USB cable. Luckily, it's nice and long and comes with a little cord management system on there, so you don't have to worry about this kind of dangling and hanging everywhere. As far as the actual Chromecast itself, there are a few different colors this time, including a nice little coral option, and then we have the black option here. There's basically a magnet on the back to attach the HDMI cable. I'm not really sure when that's going to be completely necessary. It's going to basically be stuck on the back of your TV and you'll never have to worry about it, but it is what it is. Other than that, it is round and it is now nice and flexible, so you don't have that little adapter you had before and it was kind of hard and it was a little bit difficult. Now it has that soft, bendable HDMI cable and then that micro USB slot on the side for power. So setting up the application and the Chromecast for the first time is fairly easy to do. You're going to simply download the app from the App Store, agree to the standard terms and agreement, then you're going to go ahead and choose that device it's going to find on your network. You'll pair in this little code that it'll see up on the screen. You'll type that into your iPad, put in your network information, it'll connect that, it'll do an update. Most likely it's going to have to do this, and then it's going to restart. Obviously, everything was sped up a little bit here, so you don't have to sit through an update, but it will reboot and then go ahead and install it, update, and then reboot again. Now, once you make it through that laborious process of installing those ever necessary software updates, you're going to be brought to a nice little application. You have a ton of different media presented to you, as well as the apps that will support it. So the way this will work is you'll just simply play the content from the apps that support Chromecast. And Google has combined all of those different apps and all those TV shows into one nice little application to make it easy to find. Some content does require your Google account here, so if I want to choose the backdrops on my television, I can pull in from my Google Photos, but there are also those recommended photos. And I have to say, those recommended photos that they're pulling in are really, really pretty, and I really do like the screensavers as well as the backdrops. So say I want to find something to watch, say The Simpsons. I can simply type it in or use my voice inside the application. It'll bring up the movies and the TV shows respectively, and then I can hop in here. It'll give me all of my different viewing options that I can watch on the Chromecast, such as Hulu or Fox Now. And I can simply say watch, and it'll open up the Hulu app for me and pull up that episode. Now, you don't need to go through the actual Chromecast app. You can simply open Hulu, and in that top right hand corner you can see your casting options, the iPad or the TV itself. So if I wanted to play, say, MasterChef or anything like that, I would simply hit cast and it shows up on the TV, and then I have those options down here to control it. So as far as pros and cons go, the biggest pro is the price. It is a super simple, cheap little streaming stick, so if that's what you're after, this is a great option. It has a really nice app selection, which is continuously growing, even though it still is missing the Amazon Video one, which basically all other boxes are missing except for 1 or 2. The size is super handy because you don't actually have to have a set-top box. Just that little stick you can stick in the back, compared to the Roku or Apple TVs where you actually have a box sitting on your television. These screensavers and backdrops look very nice from those curated photos that they present. And it's very easy to use. If you know how to use that Chromecast button or that AirPlay button you would use for the Apple TV, you can figure out the Chromecast. Unfortunately, it is not without its cons, and the biggest one for me is there's no remote. You have to use an actual device, whether it's your phone or your iPad, to actually cast content to your television, which a lot of times I don't want to do. I don't want to have my device, or if I'm using my device, I don't want to be using it to push content to my television. So that is the biggest con for me. Everything else out there pretty much has a remote that you can use. And screen sharing, while it does support screen sharing, I can do this from my computer using the Chrome browser or my iPad, the Chrome browser, it's not 100%, and it's been very stuttery for me. It hasn't been very solid, especially compared to other options like the Apple TV or other HDMI sticks that support this like actual like mirroring of your computer or device. It's been a bit shaky, so it hasn't been as good as far as screen sharing goes. If that's what you're looking for, then maybe look for a different option. And lastly, there are no actual apps on the Apple TV, so you still need to use that device, and there are no games or apps that you would find with like the higher end Google TV devices or the Apple TV. Again, if you would like to pick one of these up, they are in the description below, the link to Amazon. If you have any questions, throw them up in the comments. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.